So, hey, everybody, I have someone um, very important that I'd like you to meet. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the month of October is domestic violence awareness. And I had the opportunity to meet Alisa Baratta, who is the executive director of Third Street Alliance this month through BW Nice, one of the networking groups that I belong to that supports your organization. And Alisa, you just shared so much information and statistics that I felt it really important, especially that it's this month highlighting domestic violence awareness, that I ask you to talk with us and share with us some of the stuff that you had talked about. So please take it away.
Sure. So, I think it's really important to recognize that domestic violence has been an epidemic for a long time, but especially over the last 18, 19 months during the pandemic, we've seen an increase in the rate of domestic violence and the impact that it has on families, not just here in the Lehigh Valley, but across the state and certainly across the country. And so I think it's really important for us to pay attention to that and to call attention to the impact that it has had on families and the trauma that it creates for everybody who's experiencing domestic violence.
Yeah, you had mentioned, I mean, when I hear the word domestic violence, my mind immediately goes to a woman being abused, but you defined that very differently. It's not just women, it's men, it's children, it's everyone.
So, yeah, I always say this, domestic violence doesn't discriminate. So people can be victims of domestic violence at any point in time in their life. It's certainly a lot of women, but there are male victims of domestic violence. It doesn't discriminate against gender identity and sexual orientation. It doesn't discriminate against race or ethnicity, age. I will say that I've been so surprised over the last several months, the number of people over the age of 60 who have presented with domestic violence challenges. And certainly domestic violence isn't only physical or isn't just physical. So there is financial abuse, there is controlling behavior, there is stalking. So the range of domestic abuse and what can really happen, we have learned so much more about it over the last number of years so that we really see the epidemic as a much larger epidemic.
So Third Street Alliance, why don't you tell us a little bit about your actual nonprofit organization and who do you serve, where in the community?
Sure. So Third Street Alliance is located in Easton, Pennsylvania. We have a shelter that houses women and children, and a number of the families that stay with us throughout the year are actually fleeing and or survivors of domestic violence. We also have a child care program for children ages 6 weeks to 6th grade. And in that situation, we also often see situations where families are encountering domestic violence within the household and really need, some intervention there as well. So we generally work in Easton, but we do a lot of outreach and work with folks throughout the Northampton County region, particularly in the rural and suburban areas of the county.
So the other services that you provide, you get with other individuals and provide counseling. I know that you have shelter itself, but what other services do you help those that, and again, your shelter is for women and children. There are no men in the Third Street Alliance shelter.
So we have had men, so we have 2 different physical buildings. So in one of our buildings, we have the capacity to manage families who are intact, meaning 2-parent family. We also have housed single fathers who have custody of children, including men who have been victims of domestic violence who have their children with them. So we're one of the few shelters in the Valley that have the capacity to manage and support fathers who have custody of children. So in addition to that, I should say we also have rapid rehousing assistance where we provide rental assistance for families who are moving out of homelessness. as well as eviction and homelessness prevention services. We work with a number of agencies related to different support systems. So we've had a relationship with Turning Point of the Lehigh Valley for years, and prior to the pandemic, they were on site on a regular basis here 3 or 4 times a week, doing counseling and delivering educational services. They haven't yet come back on site post-pandemic. We're hopeful that we can work that out relatively soon, but it's still a challenge opening everything up and, you know, doing case management face to face. A lot of groups haven't started doing that yet. We work with Valley Youth House in terms of referring youth. We work with Children's Home of Easton. We're just opening a new program with them for young women who are ages 18 to 24, providing kind of an extended shelter, moving out of Third Street Alliance into the children's home facility and kind of stabilizing there for a number of months, getting childcare, getting jobs, and then moving back into some support for rental assistance. So we hope that that's really going to help us open up additional shelter slots, because the demand is really great. And right now we're finding that we work with a number of groups in the 33 county region in Eastern Pennsylvania. And basically we've worked with about almost 3,000 families over the last year, and about 1 in 5 are fleeing domestic violence.
Wow.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a
really,
huge number.
it really is. So Alisa, your organization, like I said, my one networking group, BW Nice, you are our sponsored charity that we support. And I know that there's a lot of needs that you have. So this isn't just going out to the BW Nice, community. It's going out on my podcast, and everyone's going to see this. So what is it that we, the community, could do to help Third Street Alliance?
Well, frankly, certainly monetary gifts are always greatly appreciated,
Right.
And that really helps. We also look at what do we need, in our various programs. So as we're working with families who are moving into rental units, they often, because they are homeless, fleeing domestic violence, they may not have a lot of sort of domestic resources. So they don't have basic sheets and towels, pots and pans when they move into their rental units. So we're often doing drives around that. We kind of keep a wish list on our website that kind of documents what we need at any point in time, because one week it might be baby diapers, the next week it might be some kind of disinfectant stuff. So it depends on the week. So I would encourage folks to take a look at the website and that list, because that's really important for us. We kind of update that on a regular basis. And we always work with families. So finding out what the needs are in the shelter are important too.
So why don't you share with everyone what the website address is?
Sure. The website address is www.thirdstreetalliance.org, and it's all spelled out as one word, Third Street Alliance.
You also have a Facebook page, which again, the statistics and the numbers and the things that you post, I encourage you. You had one number that how many people have been in a domestic violence situation in their life? There was a number that is like 1 in 4 that have personally been involved with some type of domestic violence. I mean, we all know someone or suspect someone that might need your support and your services. And so I just highly encourage all of you to check it out, because this is such a horrible, horrible thing. And the more aware we are, the better we are.
Right.
So I always end, Alisa, with asking everyone, is there something I should have asked you that I didn't ask you, that you wish I had asked you, that you want to tell us now?
Well, I would say that for anyone who has experienced domestic violence in their lifetime or has family members who have experienced domestic violence, to recognize the trauma that these experiences create and to really seek counseling and assistance, because what we really want to do is break that cycle of violence and make sure that folks have, have access to support that's going to help them look at how the situation evolved, what could have been done differently, and moving into the future, how they may react in a different situation, kind of change behaviors. And also to seek self-care, right? Really, people need to be good to themselves and take care of themselves. This is an ongoing evolution, in terms of recovery. And we want to be able to support people throughout the life cycle of their recovery. So that's what I would say.
So I'm going to finish with this, which I didn't tell you I was going to do, but it kind of just came on my heart. If someone's watching this right now and is in an abusive relationship and is looking to escape that environment, going on your website, but is there a number that they can call?
Well, so there are no, I don't have a number in front of me, and I'm sorry about that, but there are a number of hotlines. So the Pennsylvania Coalition of Domestic Violence Agencies would have a hotline. Turning Point has a hotline that you can call. I think that's really important. You can certainly reach out to 211, which is, sort of a, if you call 211 and say you are experiencing domestic violence or you are homeless, they will take your information and get you in touch and put you in the right direction for who to talk to. So I think that might be one of the easiest ways. So, yeah.
Alisa, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to just share with everyone what it is that you all do. You're a wonderful organization. Again, BW Nice, we are so thrilled that we have you as our charity partner, and we're just really proud to see the work that you guys do and hear of all of the success stories that you've had. So guys, I really encourage you, please, you mentioned Valley Youth House. I interviewed them a few months ago. They were one of my nonprofits, I think 3-4 months ago. We have a serious issue with homelessness and with violence, and let's just make the world a better place. So Alisa, thank you so much. And guys, I will see you next week. Make sure that you check out Third Street Alliance and show your support. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Take care.